Hi and welcome to my channel Shades of Sage, where I discuss all things motherhood. So first I just want to give a really quick thank you to all of my subscribers. I appreciate anyone that watches my videos and likes my videos and shares my videos. Thank you so much. And if this is your first time watching one of my videos or finding my channel, I hope that you like what you see. So today is going to be all about postpartum recovery, and what no one tells you about postpartum recovery and what to really expect. I'm broken down this video into two portions. I'm going to do symptoms, and then I'm going to do some products that will be really useful for you for your postpartum recovery. Some of these things are going to be C-section related and some are vaginal birth related. But in general, this is what most women will go through during their postpartum period. And just a disclaimer, some of these things may be a little TMI, but women need to know this. First thing I want to talk about actually is night sweats. That's not one of those symptoms that you hear a lot about, but night sweats is a part of the territory for postpartum, mainly because during your pregnancy, your body just retains so much fluid and a lot of water weight. And so when you deliver your baby, those first few weeks or those first few months, you may notice some night sweats. I remember when it happened to me, and it happened after all three of my births. I thought that something was wrong with me, but it is completely normal. Your sheets will be soaked. Some nights when you get up, you'll notice that the whole entire bed is wet. It's not that you peed on yourself, it's just your body releasing all the extra fluid that has accumulated during your pregnancy. And even if you had like an IV for your labor and delivery, or you were in labor for a long time and you had the IV fluid going, it's getting rid of all of that, flushing out all that extra water weight and toxins and all of that stuff. Of course, another big part of postpartum recovery is no sleep. So I use the term loosely. You will get some sleep here and there, but a newborn feeds very frequently, especially if that newborn is being breastfed. So anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours, a newborn baby is eating. So whether that's breastfeeding or bottle feeding, whatever it is that you're doing, the baby's eating often. And we're used to sleeping long stretches. Babies are not. We're used to sleeping short stretches in between feedings. So again, that comes with postpartum, is getting fragmented sleep. But the best thing, or my best suggestion I could say, is to sleep when the baby sleeps. I know it's not always easy to do, it's not always feasible, especially if you have other kids and other responsibilities. But if you sleep when the baby sleeps, that kind of helps you to catch up on some of your sleep. Instead of like using that time to clean up or whatever, sleep, try to take a little quick nap with the baby, and that will help you to get just a little bit more sleep while they're still adjusting to life outside of the womb. So the next one that I want to talk about is postpartum hair loss. Oh my gosh. So I did not know this was a thing. When I had my first child, from 3 to like 8 or 9 months postpartum, I had hair loss. My hair sheds a lot naturally. I'm just one of those people who loses a lot of hairs per day, but that's normal for me. But for my postpartum hair loss, it was a lot more. And I will insert some pictures. Hopefully I can find them. Seems like so much, but you have to keep in mind during your pregnancy, every part of your body is in a growth phase. And that includes your hair. Not just on your head, but other places of your body as well. And so when you deliver your baby, your hormones balance out a little bit, they get back to normal, and your hair starts growing at the rate that it normally grows. So all of that beautiful luscious hair that you grew throughout your pregnancy now falls out. It's not that you're going bald, but I will say that you may experience a lot of breakage, like around your hairline. Like I had a lot here, a lot here. It was just horrible. And my hair is just now getting back to what it was before pregnancy, and I am a year plus postpartum from my last birth. So that is one thing that may happen to you. It's a lot for some people. It may not be that noticeable for you, but that's one of the things to expect with postpartum recovery. So tears, and I am going to make a separate video about this because it was requested of me, and I definitely plan on making one because I have suffered second-degree tears for both of my vaginal births. But tears may be a part of your postpartum recovery. If you tore first degree, second degree, and then third degree is where you tear from your vaginal entrance to your perineum. So that is a big recovery in and of itself. But for this video, I just want to say tears may be a part of your postpartum recovery. You just really want to make sure that you're taking care of that area, being really gentle down there, because it does take a while to heal and it can be uncomfortable too. The next symptom that I want to talk about, which pretty much every single mother will experience, is baby blues. So baby blues are different from postpartum depression. I just want to state that it's a totally different thing. Well, not totally different, but it's just feeling general sadness. It happens about the first 1 to 3 days after birth, maybe even up to a week. But if it's longer than that, you definitely want to talk to your OBGYN or your care provider so that you can get screened for postpartum depression. When we have our babies, our hormones are at crazy different levels when we're pregnant, and so when we deliver our baby, our hormones go back to the way that they normally are, not pregnant. So you may experience periods of sadness and all of that, and that's due to your hormones balancing out. But like I said, if it does prolong or you feel like it's getting worse, definitely seek medical attention for that. But generally, it is something that every new mother may experience. Maybe you may be feeling sad about missing your pregnancy. You may be feeling sad about the way you delivered. You may just really be overwhelmed with emotion about how much you love your baby. And so it's totally normal as part of the postpartum period, postpartum recovery. So engorgement. And this will happen to every single mother as well, even if you're not breastfeeding, but especially if you are breastfeeding. So engorgement is basically when your milk comes in and your breast fills up with milk. This usually happens about day 2 or day 3. If you're not breastfeeding, of course you want to kind of suppress the milk coming in, so you can wear a bra and put ice pads in that, or take some medication that dries up your breast or anything like that. But if you are breastfeeding, it's just kind of one of those things that you kind of have to go through until your body regulates your milk supply. And the best thing I could say for engorgement is to feed on demand your baby. And if you have lumps, just massaging your breast, massaging the tissue around it, taking a warm cloth and putting that over it, or a warm rag, and even standing in the shower and letting the water run down and kind of gets those lumps out of your breast. But it is a part of postpartum recovery, the postpartum period as well. So the next thing that I want to touch on is blood clots. And this will happen to women whether you deliver vaginally or C-section. For my first, I delivered C-section and I did still experience blood clots. In my mind, I didn't really consider that I would still bleed down there. I don't know why, but after you give birth, you do bleed for about 4 to 6 weeks. It may be less and maybe more for you. It just really depends on your body. But you will have some blood clots, and that's just your uterus, your placenta. When it detached from the uterine wall, you will have some blood clots, a lot of blood flow. All of that extra blood that kept your baby alive those whole 9 months is now coming out. So it's totally normal. But if it is bigger than a golf size, you do want to get in contact with your OBGYN, because that may mean that you still have some of your placenta attached, or if you're going through like a whole pad within a short period of time and it's completely soaked, you definitely want to get in contact with your care provider, because that could be a warning that something is not going right as far as your healing and recovery down there. While we're talking about down there, constipation and hemorrhoids may be a part of your postpartum recovery. I think most women experience this after you have your baby. Well, when you're pregnant, your organs are pushed way up to make room for your baby in your abdomen. So a lot of the times your lungs are getting squished, your intestines are getting squished, and so everything kind of has to like fall back down and go into place as the uterus shrinks, which is part of the process again. And it really can mess up with your digestive system, especially if you had a C-section, because a lot of times you can't eat before the C-section if it's a scheduled C-section, and you can't eat like real normally afterwards, and just there's a lot of gas and all of that stuff. So your body's adjusting, your organs are getting back into the place that they need to be in, and so that really can lead to constipation and hemorrhoids, of course, if you're straining or if you haven't had a bowel movement in a while. And hemorrhoids also can be caused during the labor and delivery process. If you deliver vaginally, all of that pushing down there, it's extra pressure to your butt, and then the veins down there can get inflamed and lead to hemorrhoids. So yeah, another fun part of postpartum recovery. Something that I want to mention is being easily irritated and emotional, and these both go back to the lack of sleep and to the baby blues. So when you're not getting enough sleep or sufficient sleep like you're used to getting, you can be easily irritated. And of course, dealing with a newborn is not easy. Spending all day with a newborn is not easy. You're at their beck and call because they completely rely and depend on you. So that can contribute to being irritated, and you may be feeling emotional, like I said, again, due to your hormones regulating or due to other factors that come with being a mom. So feeding your baby, if you're having any issues with that, that may make you emotional. Maybe the way your labor and delivery went, if it didn't go how you wanted it to go, or it didn't go how you planned it to go, that can make you feel emotional as well. And you may be feeling stressed. So one of your stresses may be wondering if your baby's getting enough milk, or wondering why your baby is crying, or trying to figure out why your baby's crying and consoling them. So it's just a lot with being a new mom. So just remember to be gentle and be kind to yourself. So all of this stuff is completely normal. All of these feelings are completely normal and they're completely valid, but it's just one of those things that I wanted to point out for your postpartum recovery, so that you're not feeling like I'm the only person that feels this way. A lot of new moms feel that way as well. One more thing that I wanted to mention as far as symptoms go is phantom kicks. I don't hear a lot of people talking about this, but phantom kicks is basically when you feel like a baby is still moving in your stomach, which is a weird symptom. It's a weird sensation when you know there's nothing in there. So in the beginning, there's not really an actual reason or an actual definition for why phantom kicks happen, but in the beginning I think it's because your uterus is shrinking back down to the size it needs to be, or the size it normally would be when you're not pregnant. And I have experienced phantom kicks almost for a whole entire year postpartum, so it's really weird. I knew I wasn't pregnant, I'm not pregnant, but it always lasted for me for a really long time. I experienced it the most before my cycle, so it may have just been my egg releasing, I'm not sure. If you're a mom out there and you've given birth or you recently gave birth, have you experienced this as well? Have you experienced phantom kicks, and what do you think causes yours? I love to know. So moving over to products, what will you need postpartum? You will definitely need pads, and big ones, big pads. The hospital gives you these really long pads at the hospital. I actually really like those, and I like the mesh underwears that they give you, but not everybody likes that. So you can go out and get your own pads, ones that are most comfortable for you. Some people even like wearing Depends, so you know, you can take that route as well. But remember, post-birth you will bleed vaginally, and it will last for at least 2 to 6 weeks. So you definitely want to stock up on some pads. The next thing you will need in relation to that is some granny panties. Do not be trying to wear your cute little underwear or your cute little panties. Those will get totally destroyed and messed up. Even when you feel like your bleeding has stopped, wait like a week or so before you put on your good stuff, because you don't want to mess it up with all of that blood. So definitely invest in some granny panties, you know, real big, extra size, bigger than you normally are, so that when you have room for your pads to fit, and so you won't really care about getting them messed up too much, because they will get messed up. So another thing that you will need postpartum is a peri bottle. So the hospital does give you the regular standard peri bottles. I'm sure you've seen it if you've given birth before, the nice clear ones, and that's the spray down there. Even if you have a C-section birth and your vaginal area has not been messed up, it's still tender down there. It's really tender, and you just want to just be gentle. So you want to take the peri bottle to squirt away the blood and the pee and the poop, whatever it is that you're dealing with at the present moment, and then take your tissue and gently pad the area. You don't want to just be rubbing it as if nothing happened down there. So the peri bottle does come in handy, and there are some peri bottles now that are like upside down peri bottles. I will include a picture if I can find one. But they're really great because you don't have to, with the regular peri bottles, it's kind of hard to squirt it, you know, because it just goes straight down, and you really need it to be angled at that area. So there are some really cool ones there. The bottle is upside down and it squirts. I can't explain it that well. I'll just show you the picture so you can see what I'm talking about. But a peri bottle, yes, definitely comes in handy. Also for care down there, you may want to get some pad sickles. Now you can buy these already pre-made, or you can make them yourself. And pad sickles are basically pads that have been frozen. So take your favorite pads, like I was saying before, put some witch hazel on them, and then put them into the freezer. And you can make these even before you give birth. So have, you know, a couple stocked up for you in there. And that way, especially when I was talking about the perineum and I was talking about 2nd degree tears and 3rd degree tears, it's really nice to have your pad be frozen or be really cold. It kind of numbs that area for you, at least for a little while. It helps reduce the swelling and the soreness down there. So that's another good thing to have. Another good product for postpartum recovery is Colace or a stool softener, or whatever you want to use to help you to be able to go more regularly and more gently. Like I said before, your organs are still adjusting to being unsquished, or when they were squished when your baby was inside. So your digestion does usually take a hit. If you have some Colace or stool softener, that will help you with the process of going to the bathroom, going number 2, because sometimes it can seem really daunting and then you put it off and it just makes it worse. So the hospital may offer you some Colace. If they do, definitely take it. But there are other stool softeners out there. There's some natural ones like Senecot. You can take that. You can also take like Metamucil or any of those fibers where you just mix it in with your water. You can try that. I know one lady at the hospital really recommended taking prune juice every day. So whatever you need to do to make sure that in those first few days, those first few weeks of recovering postpartum, that you're staying as regular as you can and not straining when you go to the bathroom, because it will make your resistant hemorrhoids even worse. So while we're still talking about the down there area, another good product to have is Tux and lidocaine cream or spray. So tucks you can place right into your pads. Actually, you can put it right on the area itself. It's good to stock up on those. They are kind of expensive, but you can get those, and you can also get, like, you know, some off-brand. But basically the main ingredient in it is witch hazel, which you can buy that by itself as well. But get you some tucks or some equate tucks, whatever you want to use for down there that you can put in your pads. It has this little cooling effect once you put it on the area, especially if you tore down there and you have stitches. As the stitches dry and as the area heals, it gets a little itchy. So that cream, the lidocaine cream in the spray, can help numb the area just for a little bit to give you some more comfort as you're recovering down there. So another great item to have for postpartum recovery is some breast pads, especially if you are breastfeeding, because until your milk regulates, it is just a spring that just wants to just come out whenever it wants to, whenever your baby cries, whenever you think about your baby, whenever you hear somebody else crying, it will just come out. And so you don't want to be caught in a situation where you're going somewhere or you're out somewhere and it's time for you to feed your baby and then your breast start leaking. So get you some pads, stock up on them. They have reusable pads, they have disposable pads, so get you plenty of those. I had some reusable ones and they came with a mesh bag. I just put the pads in there, the rest pads in there, put them into the washing machine and wash them. You can get some of those, or you can get some that you just take and you just peel off the sticky part, place it in your bra, and that should keep you comfortable and safe when you're out and about, so you won't have any problem. And then the last product that I want to mention is a heating pad. So any kind of heating pad will do. Some people like to use the rice bag. Some people like to buy the actual pads, the electric ones. And you can use those heating pads anywhere. You can use them to sit on. You can use them on your stomach. You can use them on your breast if you feel like you're really engorged and you have a lot of milk backed up. You can use them on your back if you're still experiencing some pain there. A heating pad definitely helps. I recommend that for your postpartum recovery as well. So that is everything that I have for this video. If you have given birth, can you relate to any of these things that I said? Did I miss anything? Would you like to add anything? Leave a comment down below. I definitely would love to see if we had the same experiences or if something different happened to you that I didn't touch on or that I don't know about. Just remember that your postpartum recovery is not just physical. It's a lot of mental and emotional things that you may experience for the first time ever in your life. So just remember, I always like to say, be gentle, be kind to yourself, because it is a learning curve, especially if it's your first baby. So just know that you're doing good, you got this, and you're a great mom for your baby. If you like this video, give me a great big thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you like this content or you want to see more content like this. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you in my next video. And remember to let your story be your power. Bye. Hello? Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi, and welcome to my channel, Shades of Sage, where I discuss all things motherhood. For the postpartum period, so that you are prepared for the postpartum period, night sweats is a product to tear your body. Just remember when it happened to me, and it happened after but a newborn feeds very frequently. Of course, they're used to sleeping short sweats. And hemorrhoids also can be caused during the, oh my gosh, come on, and your breasts fill up with milk. Okay.